Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of AKP Sports Talk. As always, I'm Ari here at Korea. We'll get right into our recap. Korea, you had a nice bounce back 2-1 day yesterday. What did you think of how your plays turned out?
Yeah, I'll take the 2-1 day. We'll start with that first one, Bowling Green, Minnesota over. That was pretty sweat free. It was a little sweaty, throughout the first few quarters. But Darius Taylor, the gift that kept on giving. He was just getting fed the ball. I kind of knew Minnesota was just going to lean on the run because they always have leaned on the run all season, and down to the third string quarterback, you're obviously just going to lean on the run. And Bowling Green couldn't stop the run. They put up I think they let him have like over 30 carries with 200 yards. So just a monster day for Darius Taylor on the ground for Minnesota. And then, Bowling Green kept it interesting, obviously. And that's what I kind of lean on because Minnesota's defense is absolutely atrocious. So, I just leaned the over 42.5, and that was pretty sweat free. And then Rice, Rice is a tough loss, but at the same time, they turned over the ball 6 times. So you're only beating yourself. They lost by so much, but they really were keeping themselves in that game throughout that first half. But 6 turnovers later, and they lose epically. And well, like I said, it's hard when you turn the ball over, you're beating yourself. So you can't cover a spread when you beat yourself. So that was a tough loss. But wrapping up, that was a great finish on the night. Kansas UNLV. I only took the first half over. I was not confident in the full game over. Don't know why. The game soared over. It was at 69. I think, like I said, 69 to 69.5 when I saw it. And then all of a sudden the game finished at 85. And but the first half over, that did cash with that. I think it was a one more touchdown off of that. These Kansas wide receivers were just absolutely just mossing on their head. I've never seen two times in one half is crazy. But that just shows you how UNLV's secondary is absolutely atrocious. But it was a fun game in the second half. But like we only needed the first half to cover. And like I said, they did finish. First half finished with 38 off of a last second field goal from UNLV as well, 28-10. So that was also made it a little more sweat free. But that last touchdown by Kansas in that first half, making it 28-7, already cashed the over at 34.5, and we got it at a 112. So I'll take a 2-1 day. Like I said, bouncing back in college football. As we slowly return to college basketball coming up soon this weekend, but we do got some good bowl games throughout the week. Ari, how did you do in your one and only game from yesterday?
Yeah, it was a nice win for the Thunder. Crushed Minnesota at home. They won every quarter. 4 guys scored at least 20 points, led by Shea, who had 34. They showed out at home with Bowie Trent courtside at the game. But yeah, it was they were up they're only up by 6.5, but then they outscored them by 5 in the third quarter and then 12 in the fourth quarter. So pretty easy win for the Thunder last night.
Yeah, like I said, like you said, even though certain sports handicapper that everyone knows was sitting courtside at the game. Thunder still got the win at home. You mentioned, had a 6-point lead at half, and then kind of expanded on throughout that third and fourth quarter. So easy, sweat free win for you. We like to just see sometimes if you only have one play, you just hope that one play cashes, and that's a 1-0 day, 2-1 day for me. That's a 3-1 day overall. We will gladly take that. But now we're gonna get into our best bets for today. Obviously, I have a loaded slate. Obviously, I'm picking every single college football game. We have 4 bowl games today, one starting relatively soon, and I'll just give that play to you. I'm taking Virginia Tech minus 10.5. This is, I think, minus 122 on DraftKings. That line is growing, and it's growing for the right reason. This Tulane team is a disarray. They won't have anybody. They're having a lot of transfer issues, and yes, Tulane does have a very, very good defense, but also Virginia Tech does as well, and that's what VTech has led on all season. And now they come into this bowl game, even though the record, you see the records, and it's like, why are we backing the 6-6 team at minus 10.5? Well, because Tulane, everyone's transferring, and Tulane, they lost that AC American Championship game at home to SMU. And, that was pretty much a game where they were either going to go to a New Year's Six or they were going to go to this one. And they obviously, did not want to play in this one. And so a lot of people transferred out. Obviously, head coach Fritz has obviously left for Houston. So, coach is leaving, all the people in the portal. It's just a complete disarray for Tulane. And even though I would back Tulane, even if they did have Michael Pratt, their star quarterback in this game, I just can't because there's nobody there. And for this Virginia Tech team, their offense isn't, the best per se, or I wouldn't say that their offense isn't, a top offense, but they know how to get it done, right? And the strength with this Virginia Tech team is the fact that their secondary is something that they lean on, and especially when you have, quarterback issues with Tulane, you just got to take the better defense who has, not, I wouldn't say more to play for, but, Virginia Tech did, finish the season strong to kind of get to bowl eligibility, obviously beating the rival Virginia in the final game of the regular season. So we're taking the Hokies minus 10.5. This is going to be, a very, very ugly game for Tulane. Just no offense for them. And, their defense, some of the guys aren't going to be there, but, for who in terms of who is going to be there, I don't know if they can stop, anyone if your offense can't do anything. So I like Virginia minus 10.5 in the first game. And then we're going to go to the second game here in the Duke's Mayo Bowl between West Virginia and UNC. And I'm just going to take West Virginia on the team total. I'm taking it over 33.5. That's minus 125 on DraftKings right now. I love UNC if they had Drake May. But obviously he's going to the draft and he has declared, so he is not playing in this bowl game. And there are a lot of opt-outs for that offense and a lot of key guys missing. And that is the only reason why I'm taking West Virginia on the points. Big 12 defenses suck. And I want to take West Virginia to cover that spread, but it's already going down. And I don't really like UNC in this spot just because, I don't really know what their quarterback situation will be. The fact that they obviously lost May, but to lose Tez Walker as well, and Corey Gaynor, their starting center, it's all to the draft. The numbers are piling up, and they lost, I think, Cedric Gray to the draft as well. So those are 4 key guys for UNC, all going to the draft. And you have this West Virginia team who has been a very sneaky offense this year in terms of how they run the ball pretty successfully. But the only reason I just can't back them is because their defense, just cannot stop the run, but, they can, they know how to stop and finish drives in the red zone. And that's kind of, the one thing that have been cleaning on. So I'm not going to take West Virginia on the spread. That would be my lean. If you don't have team total available for your book, I'm just taking them on the team total. I think West Virginia's offense is going to show up against an already bad UNC defense that's missing key pieces. So I'm just going to take West Virginia to score 34 points today. That's minus 125 on DraftKings. Going in to the Holiday Bowl next between Louisville and USC, I'm taking Louisville on the spread minus 6.5. Look, I know we just saw the ACC championship. I know we just saw that. It was a horrible game. Why are we taking Louisville? Because USC is bad defensively. This team is the 3rd worst defense in all of Power 5, ahead of Vanderbilt and Stanford. Can you believe that? Like, USC only is the 3rd worst defense ahead of Vanderbilt and Stanford. Louisville's offense should be having a field day today. Louisville is going to put up big numbers. Yes, we saw that ACC, but that was because Florida State's defense is one of the best defenses, not only in the country, but obviously the best in the ACC. They're playing a defense that, is going to be having obviously plenty of skill players. And we know Lincoln Riley's going to do something with that offense, obviously, without Caleb Williams, because since obviously he's declared and he's opted out I think he opted out as soon as the last game of the season ended. So that was a pretty much given that Caleb Williams is not playing today. But Louisville in the spot, I like them at minus 6.5. I just think I don't know why USC is even being considered. It's just because of Lincoln Riley and the fact he probably will dial something up. But this Jeff Brom Louisville-led team is a very, very good team defensively. They obviously are no sleeper as well. They are one of the better teams defensively, not only in the country, but also in that ACC, being able to get to the pass and stopping the run as well. So, the offensive line that is already pretty depleted for USC will have to deal with that. And I just don't like USC in the spot. This is going to be an ugly game. I don't know why USC is getting love. It's only just because I think it's just because of the name. and the recognition, but Louisville is the better team. So I'm taking them at -6.5 right now on DraftKings. I think it's -108. And then finally wrapping it up with the Texas Bowl, and I'm taking OK State, the Pokes -3. That's 132. I was going to just take them on the money line, but that money line grew from -130 all the way to 175 overnight into the morning. So I'm just going to take them on the spread at -3. I'm -132, and also for the push potential. I just think the Pokes win, but I think this game is going to be close. I think they could cover maybe a 2.5 point spread, but I like the 3 here. I think OK State, they are the better team, and when you look at this Texas A&M team, there are so many people opting out. So much of that defense which is what they've pretty much have leaned on. The offense has pretty much left. I mean, Max Johnson already has left. We've talked about him. I forgot where he's going now, but he has left the program. And, there's just so many guys for this A&M team that, even though they are skilled players, that they're just gone. And then this OK State team, Ollie Gordon is definitely, a very slept-on running back, not only in the Big 12, but also throughout the country. He is kind of the focal point for this Pokes offense. And, Mike Gundy, he definitely is going to be dialing something up. And I really do like this OK State team in this spot. I just think that, Texas A&M, obviously, they're going through a bunch of changes right now, and with so many guys leaving the portal, even though they have one of the best defensive lines in the country, a lot of them are declaring or entering the portal. So OK State, that line is growing for a reason. It was, this line opened as OK State as an underdog, and it's gone all the way the other direction just because of how many people have entered the portal, for this A&M team, kind of signifying, that OK State will probably get the win, in this Texas Bowl tonight. So those are my 4 picks. I'm taking VTech on the spread. West Virginia, we just want them to score 34 points. Louisville on the spread, and then OK State on the spread. All 4 picks. Those are mine. Ari, what are you taking on this Wednesday?
Yeah, 2 picks in the NBA. Start with the Magic, again, hosting Philly without Embiid again. Sixers lost on Christmas against the Heat without Embiid. He is ruled out again. I just like the Magic at home. I like their defense against a Philly team without Embiid. Maxey really struggled against the Heat, who are obviously also a strong defensive team, and the Magic are up there as well defensively this year, especially at home. So I like the Magic at home, and then going ugly. Suns at their lowest, losing 3 in a row. They're in shambles right now. I'm just taking them first half. I don't trust them full game. I'm just taking them first half. They're on the road at Houston. Just first half to do their job, win by at least 2, and then they can do whatever they want to do, in the second half in a close game late. But yeah, I'm going Magic at home, cover 2 full game against the Sixers without Embiid. And the Suns buying, I guess you can say this is buying low, because usually against the Rockets, even in Houston, even in the first half, they'd be like 3.5 or 4.5 in the first half. They're only 1.5, 3-point favorite for the whole full game. So just won by 2 in the first half, get off to a strong start, and then they can crumble like they have been, late in this game.
Yeah, you mentioned the Magic, obviously, no Joel Embiid, and, we saw the last time, the Magic, the Heat just played the Sixers on Christmas, and, as soon as Embiid was already ruled out, the Heat were already -2 favorites, and they got the win at home by, I think, 9, and the Magic in this spot, obviously, you mentioned one of the better defensive teams, and without Embiid playing on this road spot, I do like the Magic -2 in this home spot, and then the Suns, you mentioned, one of the more just disappointing teams right now with KD's frustration coming out. And I wonder, it's crazy, when you don't have a bench because you trade for all these big stars, it's crazy when your team doesn't do good because you don't have any role players. But, that's another discussion for another time. But I do like them in the spot -1.5. Like you said, it's ugly, but this is going back to your get in, get out of the first half system. The Suns do usually, play a lot better basketball in the first half before, the second half collapse happens. I like these 2 teams in these 2 spots. Suns, just take them on the first half on the road against Houston, and the Magic at home against the Sixers. Then going back to my my 4 picks for this big college football slate today. VTech on the spread at -10.5. West Virginia team total over 33.5 at -125. Louisville -6.5, and OK State, the Pokes -3, -132 on DraftKings. You can find all of these picks on our Twitter below AKP Sports Talk. We will have our full cards posted momentarily. This is going to be another video of AKP Sports Talk. Don't forget, tomorrow, obviously, we have another ugly Thursday night game, people. I mean, ugly, but at the same time, it's going to be very defensive, obviously, between the Jets and the Browns, too.
It's not as bad as, at least on paper, as some of the other, but yeah.
I mean, we had Bears Commanders, for God's sakes. I'll take anything over Bears Commanders, but obviously a very defensive game tomorrow. So we're going to have our best bets for that Jets and Browns game. And obviously we have some college basketball returning. We have some Pac-12 games tomorrow. I did see USC and Oregon. That's going to be maybe a game I look at. We have some NBA coming up as well. And then obviously continuing with bowl games as we get into the big weekend for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. But that has been this episode of AKP Sports Talk. That is Ari. I'm Korea. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow on Thursday. Have a great day, guys.